Kyle Devitt inside Lacrosse. Yale is your 2016 Ivy League champion, beating Harvard 14-9. It's their second championship in as many years. Really huge game from Ben Reeves in this contest. 4 goals, 5 assists, running the show from behind the cage, making runs for Max to score, setting his team up for the win. Harvard's Shaw played strong in goal, but ultimately it was too much Yale for Harvard to handle, and Yale came in with the big pressure early on the rides, loosened up their pressure a little bit in the second half, and were able to overtake Harvard in the fourth thanks to several goals from Kesey as well as Reeves. Just an overall all-around amazing effort from the Bulldogs, your Ivy League champions, getting ready to face whomever they may be matched up with in the NCAA tournament.
Jason Myers here with Inside Lacrosse. After the Denver Marquette game for the Big East final, thriller of a game. Marquette won by a score of 10-9. DU actually got out to a pretty big first half lead. They were up around 7-2, and really dominating faceoffs and ground balls. Second half totally different. Marquette comes out with dominating ground balls, absolute stellar wing play, and they go on a 6-0 run to take the lead for the first time since the first quarter against Denver. Tanner Thompson had a hat trick in the third quarter. Denver made a few changes, shifted Zach Miller down to attack. Zach had a couple of goals in the fourth quarter, but Andy DiMiche wearing the number 6 during this weekend to honor injured teammate Kyle Whitlow, buried the game winner, and then absolute wild sequence at the end. Marquette had the ball. Christian Bergler forced a turnover. Went down, and then Marquette got the ball back and ran the clock out. Absolute corker here in Denver.
Dan Abraham here for Inside Lacrosse at Homewood Field, where I just saw Maryland defeat Rutgers 14-8 and claim the Big Ten championship. For Maryland in this tournament, it's mostly about their offense, posting 30 goals in the span of 3 days for a team that usually posts anywhere from 10 to 12 goals on average. They rode the play of Matt Rambo, who finished with 3 goals and 3 assists. It was also another 4-goal night for Connor Kelly. Rambo finished with the most points out of any player in the tournament and was named the tournament MVP. It was also a huge night in cage for Maryland goalkeeper Kyle Bernlohr, finishing with 16 saves. With the win, Maryland became one of 3 conference number 1 seeds to win their conference tournament. And now with Marquette beating Denver, their shot at a number 1 seed is looking very good.
The Hartford Hawks are going back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2011. The Hawks shocked Albany on Thursday night, then kept that momentum going into Saturday for a 17-16 win against Vermont. Dylan Protesto was as good as advertised, building on a 70% plus regular season from the Faceoff X by earning MVP honors for the tournament. Saturday, he went 19 of 30 and was especially key in a 6-goal Hartford run in the second quarter. But Hartford also showed that it's not just a team with 1 star at the Faceoff X. Dylan Jinks continued his great freshman campaign with 3 goals and an assist Saturday. Alec Brown was phenomenal with 3 goals, and Justin Huggins, who was the star and hero against Albany a few days ago, had a hat trick. Jaden Henderson is the player, though, who brings it all together. He's the glue guy, a phenomenal assist man, a person who does a lot of little things all over the field, assisted on 5 goals. It's a really young Hartford team, one that's going to be a contender in the America East for a few years to come. Vermont, on the other hand, came into this tournament feeling disrespected by the league, disrespected by the media. They beat Stony Brook when everyone thought it was going to be a Stony Brook-Albany final. Cam Milligan played great again, and for the second straight game had an unreal goal. And Vermont, for the early part of this game, controlled the game with a fast-paced, lightning speed, always a threat to score. But Hartford ultimately had the X factor. Hartford will learn its tournament opponent on Sunday, but for now, they're celebrating their second trip to the dance.
Chris Rosenthal here in Richmond, Virginia, side of the 2016 Southern Conference Championship. Air Force is your champion, defeating Richmond 9-8 in overtime. The game was very similar to Air Force's game on Friday against Bellarmine. They were able to score with limited possession time early on, whereas their opponent required extended possessions but the same results as Air Force. We were tied 4-4 heading into the break, neither team really able to build any sort of substantial lead. Coming out of the break, J.P. Forster scored first for Richmond, but Air Force responded by scoring 4 unanswered goals. Richmond then came back with 3 goals of their own, tying us at 8 at the end of regulation. And heading into overtime, the Falcons won the face-off to start things off. Richmond never got the ball back, and Andrew Tian buried the game winner. Air Force Falcons, your 2016 Southern Conference champs, grabbing the automatic qualifier for the NCAA tournament.
Hey everybody, this is Jeff Shannon with Inside Lacrosse Magazine, here covering the CAA Championship. Towson takes it with a 4-2 victory over Fairfield. This was a tight defensive game. Towson's Mike Lowe won the tournament's Most Outstanding Player Award for his defensive prowess, going up against CAA Co-Player of the Year Colin Burke. He held Burke, Fairfield's attackman, to 0 goals on 10 shots. Towson finally got their offense going in this contest in the third quarter when Spencer Parks hit a pass to Tyler Conan for their first goal of the game. They followed up with 2 goals, one from Joe Sider, another one from Spencer Parks to make it 3-2 at the end of the third. Then Parks added a 4th goal in the 4th quarter for the final score of 4-2. With the win, Towson earns a bid to the NCAA tournament. This is their second bid in as many years. And this is also their second CAA tournament victory in as many years.
Hobart happened to be the surprise team of the NEC tournament over the weekend, winning its first NEC championship by defeating number 1 seed St. Joe's 11-7 at St. Joe's Sweeney Field on Saturday. The interesting part of the weekend is the fact that Hobart beat 2 teams, Bryan in the semifinals and St. Joe's in the championship game. 2 teams that defeated Hobart by a combined 28-7 during the regular season. This will be the first time Hobart will be advancing to the NCAA tournament since 2004, when Hobart head coach Greg Raymond was a junior at Johns Hopkins. This is Joe Sanliquido for Inside Lacrosse.
Quinnipiac has had a special season, and it's going to continue into the NCAA tournament after winning the MAC's automatic qualifier on Saturday afternoon. Quinnipiac, the number 1 seed, beat the number 2 seed Marist 13-9. There was also an aspect of revenge for the Bobcats, who last year went into an early hole in the MAC championship game against Marist and couldn't get out of it. But not this year, as Quinnipiac burst out of the gates to a 4-0 lead. Will Vitelli, who was perfect in the regular season game against Marist earlier in the year, won 9 of 10 draws in the opening quarter and went 20 of 25 overall. This game featured some of the chippiness of last year's, but it was a different result with Quinnipiac winning it. Jack Brust was the tournament MVP, and for good reason. He silenced a Marist team that refused to go away in this game. For instance, at 12-8, with Marist pushing with a 2-goal surge, he made a huge save, then fed downfield to Drew D'Antonio for the dagger. D'Antonio led all scorers with 4 goals, and he was joined by Ryan Keenan, 2 goals, 2 assists, Brian Feldman, 2 goals, 1 assist, Foster Cuomo, 2 goals, and Connor Meth, a goal and an assist, as key contributors for the Bobcats. It was Quinnipiac's first MAC title since joining the league in 2014.
Thank you for watching the Epic IL Game Day Recap Show. I'm Zach Babbo. The show has been a lot of fun to produce all year, and if you have any thoughts or comments you'd like to share about it, please tweet me at Zach Babbo or tweet at inside_lacrosse. That wraps up this weekend's 8 conference championships. Catch the NCAA Selection Show tonight on ESPNU at 9. Come to InsideLacrosse.com for our thorough coverage and analysis of this year's NCAA tournament field. And stay with us through May as we bring you the great coverage you've come to expect from Inside Lacrosse. With the season wrapping up, gear up for the summer with Epoch Lacrosse and their ultralight otter mesh, the Gen 6 Dragonfly shaft, and the Hawk sequel head.